Welcome back to the Crypto Bar channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is breaking below key support and possibly starting a major dump in the price of Bitcoin as Donald Trump just started an international trade war. That is right, countries are currently kicking off things over the last 24 hours as Bitcoin is currently dumping. Markets are not liking this at the moment as the price of Ethereum is on the edge of a major break to the downside, invalidating this price pattern, while Solana is plummeting. XRP is plummeting, Chainlink is plummeting, and Cardano is on the edge of a major breakdown, possibly to much lower prices. So in just a moment, I'll be sharing my exact trading strategy and explaining all of this in real terms. So definitely watch this video from start to finish so that you don't miss out on any of this important information. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today, we need to talk about the news today because over the last 24 hours, Trump has just implemented massive tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. And now, of course, this is not a political channel. I talk about crypto on this channel, but this is indeed having a major effect on the price of crypto, at least in the shorter term, as we could see, because of course, when Donald Trump announced this and implemented this over the last one day, other countries have retaliated. So essentially the Prime Minister of Canada, as we can see, is coming back with tariffs from Canada. Essentially, we're seeing here that if Canada retaliates, President Trump is saying he's going to increase it even more, increase the tariffs. And so just between these two, we have an initial trade war starting. And of course, we have Mexico also coming back with their own tariffs. And of course, China also saying they're going to retaliate with their own measures against Trump's new tariffs. And so literally just in the last 24 to 48 hours, a massive international trade war has just broken out between the US, Canada, Mexico, and China. And so this creates a lot of uncertainty in the market because, of course, this heavily affects businesses in all of these countries right here, which can, of course, affect the stock market, for example. And if the stock market has a major dump, that will also likely flow over to crypto. And usually crypto and tech stocks and the assets that are seen as high risk assets are usually the first to sell off when there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And so just be aware of this happening at the moment, which is obviously affecting the price of crypto, at least in the shorter term. So despite what the charts are saying, just be aware of, once again, this happening on top of what's happening in the price charts. And of course, this can last a number of weeks, a number of months, or potentially a number of years, depending on how soon negotiations are basically completed. And Trump also just said that the pain from tariffs will be worth the price. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section below this video, because obviously Trump did say that Bitcoin and crypto will go to the moon, but right now it's dropping like a turd. So obviously this is not the moon that we're getting. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today on the weekly time frame, and as of right now, technically speaking, we can remain within a larger bull market, but of course we're starting to lose more bullish momentum in the weekly Bitcoin MACD, which is not a good sign to see. Because if we continue to see this loss in bullish momentum over the next few weeks or so, we could possibly confirm a bearish crossover in the weekly Bitcoin MACD. And the last time we confirmed a bearish cross in the weekly Bitcoin MACD, we actually saw a larger bearish trend ultimately play out in the price of Bitcoin for over half a year, from basically around April 2024 all the way up until around September 2024. And so in other words, we could possibly soon start a larger bearish trend if we first confirm this bearish crossover, which could potentially be 1 to 2 weeks away if this trend continues. And so obviously that would mean a break away from the fractal that has been playing out over the last few months. Obviously, over the last few months, we have been seeing very similar signals and price action compared to what we were seeing 1 year ago, but that could possibly break in the coming weeks if this trade war starts heating up and obviously we start confirming these bearish signals in the MACD, for example. And so I will be monitoring that very closely and continue to update you every day here on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on these important update videos. But at least for now, the price of Bitcoin is still basically in a bit of a sideways price range in between around 90,000 to 110,000, give or take. We're essentially in a massive sideways price range, as we can see, chopping around sideways as we've seen over the last couple of months or so. And if we're taking a look at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. But if we're taking a look at the super trend itself, it is currently flat. It's not really going to the upside, which is a sign of a lack in bullish momentum. So we're obviously not seeing a lot of bullish momentum right now. As I've been saying basically every day over the last couple of months, we have a lack in bullish momentum, at least in the shorter term. And on top of a possible bearish crossover in the weekly Bitcoin MACD, we also have to be aware of this possible bearish divergence on the weekly Bitcoin chart, which could further confirm in the coming weeks, because we do have a weekly candle close coming up in just a matter of hours from now. And by the way, that will confirm at exactly midnight UTC on Sunday night. And based on the current price of Bitcoin as of recording this video, if we see the next weekly candle close at basically where the price is sitting at as of recording this video, that could confirm a further pullback here in the weekly Bitcoin RSI, further confirming the lower high in place in the weekly Bitcoin RSI, which is not a good sign to see. And now, of course, just because we have a bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, that does not necessarily guarantee that the bull market is completely over and we're about to start a major bear market like what we saw in 2022. It doesn't necessarily guarantee that because, for example, we did see a small bearish divergence right here on the weekly time frame with higher highs in the price, just slight higher highs in the price while forming lower highs in the RSI. And of course, we did not see a major bear market after that. We did see a decent pullback and a dump in the price of Bitcoin over the next 1 to 2 months, but not necessarily a major 1-year bear market like 2022. But either way, a bearish divergence, as the name suggests, is of course more bearish than it is bullish. So if this further confirms with this next weekly candle close in a few hours from now, and especially the following weekly candle close in a week from now, and especially if we confirm a possible bearish crossover over the next couple of weeks, things could really start to change on the larger timeframes, possibly starting basically price action like what we saw in the middle of 2024. And just before talking about my trading strategy for the price of Bitcoin, first of all, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take a lot of my trades over on BTNX, so I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim some exclusive rewards that are only available using that link. So if you simply just click that link to make your account and then deposit just $100, you get a $20 bonus. Or if you deposit just $1,000, you get a $100 bonus straight into your new account. And also, if you're trading on that account, you can get a brand new Apple Watch, Apple AirPods, or even up to a brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max simply just by trading crypto. But once again, all of that is only available if you use the link below this video to make your account and start trading on that account. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link below this video. And also, in case you're wondering, BTNX is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNX as an exchange, there is also Bybit as another option out there, another exchange that I also trade on. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bybit below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. But with that being said, taking a look at this Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame, and just over the last 1 day, we confirmed a daily candle close below this support line at around 101,000. And the moment we confirm that daily candle close below that line of support, obviously we continued a further drop to the downside, as we could see just here. And so personally, when it comes to my trading strategy, I actually recently just entered a small short position. That is right, I am actually shorting the price of Bitcoin as of right now over on BTNX. Once again, link below if you want to claim those extra bonuses. And that's simply due to the fact that the price is clearly breaking below key support. We are gathering some bearish momentum in the short term. And of course, we have a trade war starting, which is causing further dumps in the price of Bitcoin and crypto assets. And now it's possible that the price of Bitcoin could still remain within this much larger sideways price range, as we have seen previous major bounces from this area of support sitting in between around 92,000 to 93,000. But obviously that would mean potentially a further drop down towards that area of support before seeing a major bounce, because really the next support below the current price of Bitcoin as of recording this video is really, we could find some short-term support at around 95 to 96,000, but really the next important area is in between around 92 to 93,000. And for as long as the price of Bitcoin is remaining above 92 to 93K, in terms of the much larger price structure here, we're still looking okay. We're still within a much larger sideways price range, at least while the price is above 92 to 93K. But obviously, during this massive sideways price range, we can see short-term bullish and short-term bearish movements. And that's simply what we're seeing right now. We're breaking below support, potentially on our way towards the next area of support within a short-term bearish movement. And as for resistance, if we see any sort of bounce here at any of these levels, I would now expect some resistance around this area, which was also previous resistance. And that's sitting in between around 101,000 to 103,000. Now acting as new resistance again, and of course major resistance all the way back up here at around 106k to 107k. And obviously, like I've been saying recently here on the channel, with this break to the downside below this support level right here, that means the complete invalidation of the formation phase for this possible cup and handle pattern, which never actually confirmed. Because remember, as I've said over the last few days, in order for this technical pattern to be confirmed, we need to see a daily candle close confirm above around 106k to 107k, ideally above 107k, in order to confirm this bullish pattern. But that never confirmed, and now with this further pullback and break below support, essentially we have no cup and handle pattern anymore. And so that's also another reason why I'm currently shorting the price of Bitcoin as of right now, because we've essentially gotten rid of the chance of this bullish pattern actually confirming at all. And in case you're new to all of this, shorting Bitcoin or short selling Bitcoin basically means you're making profit as the price goes lower. That is right. If you're new to all of this, you can profit from bearish price action, which is what I'm actually doing as we speak. And I do have tutorials on this channel. If you're new to all of this and you're wondering how to actually do that, I do have tutorials on this channel. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I do have a tutorial on the end screen of this video. So definitely check that out if you're interested on how to actually profit while the price dumps. And if we're taking a look at this 4-hour Bitcoin chart, as of right now, at the time of recording this video, the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI is just now starting to enter into oversold territories for the first time in just under a week. And now it is important to understand that an oversold signal by itself does not guarantee that this is the bottom and we're about to see a massive bullish reversal. It does not mean that at all. It just means that sometime soon, as in potentially over the next one day, we could see a slight relief. Whether it's right now or after a little bit further of a drop, we could see a slight relief start playing out at some point over the next 1 to 2 days, I would say. And so once again, I want to make it extra clear, I'm not saying this is the bottom. I'm saying we can possibly drop further, perhaps down towards this level of support, and then somewhere closer towards this support, we may end up seeing a slight little bounce, not necessarily a major bullish reversal, but some sort of relief from all of the bearish price action in order to help to reset the RSI in the coming days back up towards more neutral levels, which can also give us some more room to the downside later on. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, zoomed out to the last 1 month of price action, we can see that as of recording this video, we are taking out an area of liquidity at roughly around 97,000 and just above 97,000, at least as of recording this video. But as for other areas of liquidity to watch out for, we still have a lot of liquidity at just above 107k and around 108k, and also more liquidity at 110k. But of course, between the price of Bitcoin and those higher levels of liquidity, we have major resistance, which I've talked about recently here on the channel over and over again. And so when it comes to other levels of liquidity to the downside below the price of Bitcoin, like I just said, we do have a small amount, actually a decent amount at around 97k, but below that, really the next major area of liquidity to the downside is at around 88,000, and then below that we have some major liquidity at just underneath $80,000. But with that being said, taking a look at the price of Ethereum on the daily time frame, and right now Ethereum, as of recording this video, is actually starting to break below very important support. So first of all, we have this important area of support that has been holding the price to the upside for basically many months, ever since around November, and that's sitting in between around 3,000 to 3.1k. And not only are we starting to potentially break below this area just here, here, we're also breaking below this descending line of support for the falling wedge, which was sitting at just above $3,000, around $30.50. And now it's important to mention that we technically still need to see a daily candle close confirm below those support levels in order to actually confirm the break below those support levels. So technically speaking, the break to the downside is not yet fully confirmed, but for now, obviously, it's not looking too good for this falling wedge pattern, which obviously never confirmed. Some people out there talked about a confirmed breakout just here, but here on this channel, of course, I said we never confirmed the breakout because we needed to confirm at least a daily candle close above 3.3k, and we came right up to 3.3k, but never confirmed that breakout. And what we did also see was actually an attempted breakout to the upside and then a rejection from my exact area of resistance that I've been warning about, which is this area sitting in between around 34.30 to 35.60, and the price rejected from very close to 34.30, as we could see. And so overall, the price structure is still currently bearish for the price of ETH on the daily time frame because we are simply forming lower highs and lower lows, which is technically a bearish trend. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana, of course, Solana is following Ethereum and Bitcoin with that bearish movement here in the short term, as we have just broken below this key area of support, which was sitting in between 220 to 225. And I mentioned recently here on the channel, if we break below $220, expect a move straight down towards around 200 to 205 as the next short-term support. And that's exactly what we have seen. The moment we broke below 220, we immediately drop down towards this next area of support. And now if we actually drop below 200, if that breaks, then in that case, we could see a continued drop to the downside down towards this area in between around 177 to 183. So basically expect to move down towards close to $180 if we first confirm a break below 200, which as of recording this video, that has not yet happened. And as for resistance, essentially previous support will likely become new resistance as it was previously, and that's sitting in between 220 to 225, as I just said, acting as resistance right now. And of course, we still have those other levels of resistance further to the upside, and the overall price structure and momentum on the 8-hour Solana chart is clearly bearish. We are breaking below support, forming lower highs and lower lows. That is simply bearish price structure. And something similar can be said for the price of XRP here on the 4-hour time frame, because as I always say, XRP, along with a lot of the top altcoins out there, follow similar price action to what Bitcoin and Ethereum and things like that are doing. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum are having dumps or pumps in the short term, XRP and a lot of the major altcoins will likely follow similar price action to what Bitcoin is doing. So with Bitcoin and Ethereum obviously bearish, at least at the moment in the shorter term, XRP for now is simply bearish. In the shorter term, we are gathering bearish momentum, forming bearish price structure as we are forming lower highs and lower lows, at least for now, and breaking below support. We did previously have a decent amount of support in the short term at roughly around $3, give or take, on either side of $3. And as I'm recording this video, the price of XRP is attempting a break below this area of support, which previously we have seen multiple bounces from, and that was sitting in between around 260 to 270. And as I just said, the price is currently attempting a break to the downside, but technically speaking, we still need to actually confirm that break to the downside with a candle close at the very least below around 260. But if we continue this bearish movement below that area of support with confirmation, in that case, we could potentially see a move all the way back down towards around $2.33 as the next important support, and below that around $2.26. So basically around $2.20 to $2.30, give or take, is the next major area of support to the downside if we further confirm the break below 260. And it's also important to be aware of the fact that the 4-hour XRP RSI is starting to enter into oversold territories for the first time in close to a week, give or take. And of course, the last time we saw this signal confirm, we did actually see a decent bounce over the next 1 to 2 days, but it does not guarantee that we're going to see a major bounce. I want to make that clear. It just means we're starting to run out of room to the downside, at least in the short term, as in talking about the next 1 or 2 days. So at some point over the next 1 or 2 days, days, I do expect a bit of a break or a relief from all of this bearish price action, whether it's right now or potentially from a lower point. Once again, just at some point in the next 1 or 2 days, I do expect some sort of relief in order to help to reset the RSI back towards more neutral levels, which can also give us more room to the downside later on. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the 4-hour time frame, and as I'm recording this video, the price of Chainlink has actually dropped straight down towards this area of support, which is sitting in between around $19.50 to $20.50. And so for now, that's the major area of support for the price of Chainlink to pay attention to. And of course, this comes after we saw a confirmed break below this line of support, which was sitting at around $22.30. So as I said recently here on the channel, before this latest bearish movement just here, I said if we break below $22.30, honestly expect to move down towards at least $20.50 as the next major level of support. And that's exactly what we saw the moment we broke below $22.30. That was a strong bearish signal, at least in the short term. And now we don't necessarily have an actual head and shoulders pattern right here, because this right shoulder is a little bit too large compared to the left shoulder, and we kind of have a double right shoulder as we can see. But overall, the price structure is clearly bearish either way, because we have just broken below support and we are forming lower highs and lower lows. So the price structure and the momentum in the short term is simply bearish for Chainlink. But like I just said, we could find some support in between $19.50 to $20.50. But if we break below $19.50, in that case, the next important level of support to the downside is sitting at around $18. So if we break below $19.50, expect to move pretty quickly down towards $18. And as for resistance, if for whatever reason we see a major bounce here, expect strong resistance at just above $22 based on previous support becoming new resistance. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the price of Cardano on the weekly time frame, the price of Cardano is continuing the major rejection from this significant area of resistance, the golden pocket area of resistance, sitting in between $1.13 to $1.23. And of course, I've been warning about that resistance for months, since before all of these rejections here. So of course, that is still acting as major resistance as I recorded in this video. But when it comes to support for the price of Cardano, at least as of right now, the price of Cardano is possibly breaking below very important support, where we have previously seen important bounces from, and that's sitting at around 82 to 83 cents approximately. And now, technically speaking, we still need to see some confirmation here, but for now, it's not looking too good for the price of Cardano, especially if we confirm a weekly candle close, which, by the way, the next weekly candle close is only in a few hours from now. If we confirm that weekly candle close well below around 82 cents, it's not looking good on the larger time frames. And in that case, the next important level of support to the downside is sitting at close to 60 cents. That is right, we could possibly see a move all the way down to 60 cents, but before 60 cents, we could find some support around this high based on the weekly candle closes at around 72 to 73 cents. So keep that in mind as well. But either way, from the current price as I'm recording this video, from close to 82 cents, give or take, to around 72 to 73 cents, that's still potentially a 10% move down, or to that next important level of support at close to 60 cents, that's a possible 25% drop in the price of Cardano, which could be a realistic movement, a very real movement that could happen over the next few days or weeks. And that move would become much more likely if we actually confirm with a weekly candle close below 82 cents. And so as of recording this video, I have actually just opened a new short position on the price of Cardano. That is right, I am shorting the price of Cardano. Now, it's not a massive short position, but I am simply just hedging some of my spot portfolio by shorting a few of these crypto assets like Bitcoin and Cardano as of right now. And personally, I already have my stop losses at close to break even. So even if we see a major pump back to the upside, if anything, that would be more beneficial for me, because I still have spot crypto just in cold storage. So I'll benefit from that. And then the trades would close at close to break even. But if we continue a further dump here, then of course those short positions will make profits. So once again, if you're new to all of this, you can profit from bearish price action. And in case you're wondering, I took that short position for Cardano over on BTNX, links below. below. Once again, if you want to take any of these trades in the price of any crypto, check out those links below this video to claim extra bonuses over on those exchanges. And if you want to actually know how to profit from crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.